Broke Ride Media.
You're now listening to The Straight Shooter Show with your host, The Straight Shooter.
Welcome to The Straight Shooter Show. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We put a lot of work into this show, and every bit of it is for you guys. I don't really have an opening today. We've got several emails that we want to get to, and then we've got a caller that's got an issue he wants to talk about. So we'll just get right into the emails, and then we'll take our caller, Josh.
Okay, get into these emails. We've got 4 of them. I got 4 of them for you today.
All right.
This guy is named Chris Downs, and he sends in, "Hey man, I finally been able to listen to your podcast." And he put in parentheses, "I'm trying to catch up, and I started listening today. And I just wanted to say they're very good and really changes my mindset on a few things. Your videos and your podcast alone have helped me so much, and your advice is really something I need in my life. My life at home isn't the best, and it's kind of hard to ignore the negativity that's around me. Parents are split, and I've been bouncing back between my grandparents and my dad's house, just depending on who is willing to have a place for me to stay while I get my life together. Currently now, I just now even notice when I'm at the house at my dad's." Oh, he's not noticed when he's at the house at his dad's. "They don't call me up for dinner, don't tell me when they're going out as a family, and just disregard my existence altogether. The only thing I seem to get my happiness out of is going to work and seeing my girlfriend. Basically, what would your advice be to someone who wants to get on with a better life than what I'm having right now? As of right now, the only thing I can think of is to just get away. I appreciate your help you've given me before in your videos, and I appreciate what you're doing with the podcast and trying to help people out. Thanks in advance for your help." Oh, he said, "Also, my name is Chris, if you wanted to include my name in the reply."
Did he say how old he was?
No, he didn't actually say how old he was in here, but I'm assuming, like, by what he said, it sounds like he's an adult, but barely. Like,
Yeah.
He's kind of trying to decide, because he's saying that he can get out, but he's just kind of in between things right now, and he wants to know what your advice would be for him.
All right. Well, initially, my advice would be to try to have a conversation with your folks. I mean, if you're bouncing back and forth, I don't know what the reason is for that exactly. I'm hearing that you're feeling like you're being ignored by your folks. I would try to have a conversation with your dad and find out if you can get to the root of what's going on. I mean, just like what you told us in this email, ask him, you don't ever let me know when y'all are, going to have dinner, or, is there something I need to be doing? Am I not pulling my weight here? Is there something that you need from me so that I can feel more included in this family? Just really have that hard conversation with your dad. See what kind of answers that you can get that will help you make a determination whether maybe you do need to, move on if you can afford. I mean, if you're able to afford to move on, maybe that's the next step. If you're still that young and you're trying to get your finances together and get your life together, maybe that conversation can improve your relationship with your family. Maybe there is some things that, maybe you're not pulling your weight. Maybe you're not doing stuff at home. Maybe something's happened and he just hasn't opened up to you to talk to you about what the problem is. So it would really be his responsibility as dad to do that. But if he's not doing it, he's not telling you anything, not giving you any information, then you're going to have to take responsibility for that, I think, to get to the bottom of it. And then, like I said, that will help you make a decision on what you need to do. If it's a toxic relationship, if it's a toxic environment, and you don't get solid answers from your dad, or you get, answers that are, not satisfactory, or they don't make a lot of sense to you, or if he's disrespectful to you, then maybe getting away from the environment altogether is the way to go. But without knowing what, this all stems from, why this is happening, I can't really give you a direct answer on what you should do. You're gonna have to do a little work here, do a little bit more investigation.
I mean, communication is key, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you've got to talk to him, and then
every relationship.
And then what you should do is going to be based off of his response. If he's like, "Hey, man, dude, you're right. I'm sorry. I've been stressed out about this. Maybe he's stressed out about something.
Could be.
And I didn't realize I was doing this. I'm sorry. I'm going to work to bit better. Or if he's like, hey, listen here, you little asshole. I just don't, if he gives you some terrible response, then you know that it's probably time to get out of there. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're an adult and you have the means to get out of there, you probably should anyway, just so you can figure out who you are as a person,
I wouldn't agree with that wholeheartedly. I hear what you're saying, but if you can come to terms with your dad and you can feel more included in the family and you're still trying to get your finances together, if you can stay there a while longer and sock some money away, I think you should do that.
Yeah.
Don't move out and struggle if you don't have to. I
kind of wish I would have done that too when I was younger. I went out and just tanked for years, so I guess you're right with that. But it's what you're comfortable with. What would you think, Linda? You think you should stay? You think you should go?
I think it's hard without a little bit more information. It could be a situation like your own where is there a stepmother that has a big role in this? If I had to guess, and if it may be overthinking, but maybe his dad's ready for him to get out, and that's why they're kind of giving him the cold shoulder, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe his dad's like, hey, man, and he just doesn't want to tell him because maybe his dad values the relationship too.
Yeah, maybe.
And more information would probably be a little helpful, I think.
Well, we struggle with that here,
Whenever we get these emails and we don't have all, enough, we have to give all the different scenarios of, this, could be this, or this, and this is what you need to consider. So,
yeah. We try to get everybody on the phone to get more information, but a lot of people aren't comfortable, which I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it if you're not comfortable being on the phone. So we just try to work with what we get. So,
yeah. Hopefully that will give you enough to think about, and you can have that conversation with your dad and get to the root of it.
Yep. Email us back, Chris. Let us know what happens, and then we'll get back to you. But thanks for the email, bud. Next one's Caden. Caden says, I plan on not playing sports for the last 2 years of high school, and my mom is trying to force me to play basketball, and I don't want to. How do I respectfully tell her I'm not playing and I'd rather pursue my other interests? Caden.
Oh, man. Okay. It's just one of those things I need a lot more information. I don't believe in forcing a child to play, to do any extracurricular activity that they are not enjoying. So if you are genuinely not enjoying it and you just really don't want to play, I'll come back to how you would say to your mom, but I want to address before I get to that. If you're not wanting to play basketball because you say you have other interests, if you're saying, I don't want to play basketball anymore because it's really cutting into my video game time and I really want to play video games, then I would probably side with your mom because, if you're a good basketball player, you're an asset to the team. The team may be counting on you to be there. Maybe you've been playing basketball and, they need you. And if you enjoy it, but just maybe you don't enjoy it quite as much as video games, there's a balance, for everything. You can still play some video games and play basketball. Or, I don't know what these other interests are that you're wanting to pursue. So from that standpoint, your mom may know what's best, depending on what these other interests are. With that said, like I already said, I'm not a big fan of forcing a kid into any extracurricular activity. The way I parent is find out what my kid's interested in and then support that, whatever it is. My son played violin. I supported that. He played baseball. He played football, whatever his activities are. And he likes to play video games a lot too, and I support it. He likes to play a little more than I think he should. And so I will try to reel him back from playing as much as he does.
Yeah.
But I support whatever it is that my son wants to do, as long as he's doing something and not just wanting to lay around all the time, then I'm gonna support that. But to get to your real question, how do you politely tell your mom? Then you need to sit down. You need to probably write down the reasons why you don't want to play basketball, why it makes you unhappy, And whatever these other extracurricular activities are that you're wanting to pursue, the benefits. Here's the benefits, Mom. If I do this, I'm going to be happier. This is what I can gain from these other activities that I'm wanting to pursue. Maybe this other activity is something that you could pursue professionally, or something that you could, whatever it is. You need to have all the pros and cons of both things, and then just sit down with Mom and say, look, if you're miserable playing basketball, I'm miserable. I am miserable playing basketball, and I don't want to play anymore. I just don't want to play anymore. But I'm really interested in these other activities, and here are the positive things that could come from me pursuing this. I mean, I don't see how a parent can make a kid show up at practice. I mean, I don't know how that a parent could make a kid do that.
I like how you said that. I think I would respond as a parent. I'm putting myself in the parent's position. I think I would respond better if my kid came and wrote me a letter. It would impact me more. Yeah. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I do have a rule. My kids, I don't care what you do, but you will play one sport or do one extracurricular activity. Yeah. But even to say the video game thing, there are millionaire video game players.
I get
now.
it, but it's a small percentage of people.
I mean, like less than 1%. Yeah.
I mean, it's probably less than NFL player or,
Yeah.
So I would not put very many eggs in that basket.
I agree with you. But what I'm saying is it's harder, like back in our day where video games weren't on the internet and stuff like that.
Right.
A kid had no excuse when your parents said you're playing too much video games. You couldn't counter it. It's like now kids are like, well, I want to play video games professionally, and it's viable. So it's harder argument for the parent. Even though I do agree, it's a harder argument for a parent.
My son's very successful at video games. He plays online. Even when he was like 12 years old, he was playing with 20-year-olds and kicking their ass.
Yeah.
So, he's felt like he could probably start a YouTube channel, with his skill set at video games. And I'm like, look, if you think you can make money at it, do it. Make money at it. But if you're not making money at it, you can't invest that much time at it, because there's other things you got to do.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I agree with that completely. And like I said, the reason why he put, and I'm just going out on a limb here, he put other interest and he didn't explain, it's probably because he knows that he probably should be playing basketball over the other interests.
Yeah, and I would really, really do some deep soul searching, because if you enjoy playing basketball at all, you've got 2 years of high school left, and when it's over, it's over. You're never going to get that back. So if you enjoy basketball even a little bit, I probably wouldn't pass up the opportunity. I mean, if you're a good basketball player and you get plenty of court time, I would not want to pass up. Now, if you're sitting the bench all the time and you're just going to practices and sitting the bench and that's it, that's all you get to do, I get it. You may feel like it's a waste of time unless you want to put more effort into it and try to, become a starter. But if you're a starter right now, or even getting a lot of court time, I probably wouldn't want to pass that up my last 2 years of high school.
I agree 100%. Because I quit baseball and football early just to work, and I regret it deeply, man. I do. So I agree with you 100%. Hope you make the right choice, Caden. Thanks for the email. Don't forget to email us back on that. So on to the next one. Oh, Kelly Bearden. Do you remember her? We answered her email several episodes ago where she has her boyfriend that's living with her, and he broke up with her, but he's still living in the same house with her. And she wanted to know what to do.
Is he out of town? The one that was out of town?
Yes, and he was out of town, and she was wanting to know how to handle it, and we told her that we thought she should probably get out. She emailed us back.
Yeah, she said she had commented on something saying that she had emailed. I told her I would check it out.
Okay.
So we're checking it out.
Yep. She said, you're right. It's basically a waiting to see if he does replace me game. Of course, I don't know 100% if he's talking to others. I've asked if he's talking. He says no, but I'm not sure. Since we do live together, he's not going out in town playing the field here. Haven't had the talk on how he feels. Moving out while he's gone would be more of a shit move to me. He does have a dog. I'm basically holding down the fort right now. Remember, didn't I say for her to take his dog or something like that? Yeah. I don't remember. I'm basically holding down the fort. If you want more information, you can email me or call me. Also feel like I need to see where he stands on everything. Things have changed here at the house, and since he's been gone, he seems more invested, or I may be overthinking it. He has said how he felt back in July, and here we are and almost a year later doing the friends with benefits thing pretty much. And yeah, if I was to move vows, it could end everything. If y'all said y'all's piece on it, don't have to post on the podcast. We can talk emails, just trying to give a little more insight. So she's trying to kind of justify his situation. What do you, Linda? I see you shaking your head over there.
I don't know the whole situation.
Okay, I'll go over it a little bit. So her and her boyfriend broke up, but he still lives with her. And you
got to give more than that. He came out of a marriage and got in a relationship with her pretty quick. And then they moved in together, and they were fine for like a year, I think.
Okay.
And then he decided, not really feeling it so much anymore. So they broke up as far as not being in a committed relationship, but continued to sleep together. She still does housework. She's still, like she's living there. Yeah, she's playing the wife, but they're not in a relationship. So right now he's out of town. I think he's military, I think so, yeah. Like in North Carolina or something like that, over on the East Coast. And
but doesn't he say that they're done? He doesn't see a future with her, stuff like that.
Well, he just said that he wasn't feeling like he was in the beginning of the relationship and didn't know that he wanted to be in a relationship with her. And she had found where he had made comments on other women's social media, but she's not like, I don't think she had caught him actually like talking to anybody. She just has suspicions because of the type of comments that she's found on social media on other women's posts that maybe he was talking to other people, but she doesn't know.
I think he simply needs to go. And just, a man, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical about this comment, but a lot of men have a lot of pride. So why are you staying with a woman that you're never going to commit to? You're just using her.
The benefits.
But you're just using her.
Yeah.
A real man wouldn't do that. He would just say, hey, it's not working. I'll leave.
Well, and that's what I told her. I said, you're basically just waiting. Based on the information that she gave, and even still with this one, she's waiting for him to find somebody else. And it may not be one other somebody else, maybe several somebody else's, but I still feel like he came out of that marriage, he jumped in a relationship and decided, whoa, I did not play the field. There may be something better. Let me look around and see if there's something better. And if not, I still got you.
Yeah, that's not good for her.
Yeah. But, based on this email, she's saying, well, he has shown a little bit more investment since he's been gone. I don't really know what that means. Since he's been gone, what investment he is showing or has shown, and I get it, not wanting to move out while he's gone. When we said that, it felt like it might be easier because he wouldn't be there standing over you while you're packing your stuff. But I get it, that it may be kind of a slap in the face. And most certainly, if you move out, whether now or when he gets back, it will probably most certainly end everything. But, based on the circumstances, that's not necessarily a bad thing, that it ends everything.
I want you to ask yourself this question, Kelly. In the context of this email that you sent, are you trying to justify what he's doing now, or is this the truth? You see what I'm saying? And maybe we can call her. Maybe we will call her. Kelly, maybe we will call you, and we'll have a conversation about it a little further. But let's do that. She left her phone number. I'll try to get her on the phone, and we'll just end this email right now, and we'll get more context on it on the next episode.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, Kelly, we're going to get you on the phone. And I'll email her when we get off so we can do it, because we need more context. We need to know if she's justifying it or if this is the truth that she really thinks it is, or she's just trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah, let's try to do that.
All right, let's move on to the next one then. All right, the next one's from Kayla. Kayla. All right. Kayla says, first and foremost, I'm embarrassed by my actions. This isn't me. It's just a huge mistake. She said, back in October 2019, I was in an anonymous Snapchat group where there was inappropriate videos and pictures being sent from me to the group, and I looked at the group, but it wasn't anything more than that. I didn't speak to anyone. No one knew who I was or anything. My husband came across it. I admitted it was completely stupid and wrong, as I realized it was. I genuinely was in the group just to see the post and only sent in to be able to stay in it. It was all females with the occasional couple. It was stupid, but I can't take it back. Well, December 2019 until May of 2020, everything was amazing with us. He had been happy and loving like his old self, and everything was great. Then out of nowhere, he stopped it all. No longer calls me baby, honey. No longer says he loves me first. Never says he misses me. Never cuddles me or loves me until I do it first. Sex life is still great though, and he says he doesn't want a divorce, but that he's just this way now because of what I did. But he also brought up how he wants to stop being the sole person who provides financially. But he also works on the road 6.5 hours from home, so the kids and I have been driving back and forth to be able to spend time with him and our family back home as well. Our daughter is 8 in homeschool, and our son is only 3.5, so if I get a job, we can no longer go to see him, and I have to work to pay someone to watch the kids. So that takes a lot of my pay. I want to get a stay-at-home job, but need high-speed internet to do so. So we are working on buying a house I can do that for now. And he can come home and work. But I'm just not sure if the issues are actually from what happened or the finances or what. And he doesn't really talk to me, and I'm just really depressed at this point. I've ruined our marriage, and nothing I can do will help. I just want to know how to get him to open up to us again. He definitely still in love with me. He slipped up and called me baby and honey before, and then he cuddled me in his sleep. Little things pop through, but it's like he intentionally makes himself not love on me, call me baby, pretty beautiful, say he misses me or loves me. I feel like if he would sit down and actually talk to me and let it all out, we could be together. I told him his actions and reactions are choices, but he says it's just him now. But that doesn't make sense. Given December 19th through May 20th was amazing. So she wants it. So basically, I don't know what kind of Snapchat group she was in, but it sounds like it was an anonymous like sex group to where they're sending nudes to each other and stuff like that, to where like maybe guys were sending nudes in there, and she was sending nudes of her body into that group and stuff like that. She said it
was all women and with an occasional couple, which...
Okay. You don't see anything wrong with that?
Her doing the Snapchat deal?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be happy about it.
No, I wouldn't be happy with it either. That's what I was saying. Like, if my wife were to come to me and be like, hey, I came across this Snapchat group, and there's naked women in there, and I don't know why. I'm just into it. I like seeing them, and I want to see it. And in order for me to do it, I have to send a naked picture of myself. I would probably be more open to it if she came to me before it even happened, and because then I could trust her. But if I caught her later, I don't even know if I could be in the relationship anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say that I would end a relationship over it.
I don't think so either.
That'd be pretty drastic over something like that, especially, she realized that she had made an error.
You can tell she feels terrible about it.
Yeah. I don't know that, she says she's ruined their marriage, and I don't believe that has ruined their marriage. It could be that, he thought he could deal with it. And he tried to suppress it, and he just did for that amount of time. And then he just decided, you know what? I can't suppress it anymore. It bothers me. It bugs the shit out of me. And and I'm going to pull back, maybe he doesn't trust her, but then, he works 6.5 hours away. I hate to say it, but normally when a guy pushes away like that emotionally, it's because there's somebody else.
Man, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to just.
Well, it's just. That's the way. That's what it is. That's just the way guys normally do. Of course, the sex life is going to stay good because they want the sex, but they start to push away emotionally because they're divided, you know.
I instantly thought that too. I instantly thought that, like, the stop calling her baby and stuff like that, like, because she made a mistake, man. And if he really is just acting this way because he's mad at her for that, then he needs to grow up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He needs to grow up.
Well, or he just needs to, if it really is consuming him, because we don't know him. We don't know.
I know.
It could be that he is consumed by that she did that. If that's the case, he needs to deal with it and drawing back away from her and saying, well, this is how it's going to be from now on because of what you did. That's not acceptable. You have to be able to, he has to cope with it. He has to deal with it, whatever means necessary. If that means counseling or whatever it is, he needs to deal with it so he can get past it so they can have a normal, loving marriage.
He at least needs to talk to her.
Yes. I mean, that's a major, major deal. The non-communication. I mean, he has to open up, but telling her he has to open up ain't going to make him open up. You know, I mean,
no,
I hate to say, I mean, I hate to stay stuck on that, but I would, and I don't want to make her paranoid and make her, you know, overthink and, you know, go become Mrs. Investigator either, but I mean, all three of us are thinking the same thing.
Are you thinking that too, that you think there's somebody else in the picture?
I don't know. I think your one statement about it's consuming him and it's eating him up. But then part of me is like, damn, it's just a picture, you know?
Yeah.
And she was curious. We're all curious. I mean, people experiment different ways in their relationship. Not saying that she gets a pass. She should have come to him first, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you want to know what these chicks look like, but I'm not ending a marriage. I'm not going to, not over that.
Yeah. Well, and he said he doesn't want a divorce.
Right. But
I'm just going to treat you like this.
It's going to come there because as soon as a woman or a man, a partner feels like they're not getting that love and they're not getting their needs met, you're going to drift apart. It's a matter of time. Yeah. But it's just a picture.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like in 10 years from now, Kayla's going to realize that, be like, hey, yeah, I messed up 10 years ago, but you're going to treat me like this for 10 years. I'm going to leave you now. And then he's going to be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have acted like an asshole this whole time.
Yeah.
Like this is where it's got me suspicious. But I only think of myself because I know there are people that are less forgiving than me, but eventually I'm not going to be able to pretend mad.
Yeah.
After a while, like I'm going to get over this, and I'm either going to forgive you and move on with this, or I'm going to break up with you because I can't pretend mad for that long.
Well, he might be cheating, and it may be in, you know, just being spiteful of what she's done. Maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he's being unfaithful, it would be very convenient to say, "You did that, so I'm mad at you."
Yeah,
to cover up. You know, this is what I'm doing now.
He has an excuse now.
Yeah.
He has an excuse.
He's far away, too. So there's really no telling what he's doing, you know?
Yeah, he could be, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Kayla, I don't know.
Kayla may think, you know, she may be like, oh, you guys are crazy. There's no way, you know, they don't know him, you know, and she's right. We don't know him, but I know what I know what the patterns are. I know what the patterns are for people when they're doing things.
Yep.
I agree with you completely. People do have patterns. And when I was reading that email just now and I looked through there, it says how he stopped calling her honey and baby and he's disconnecting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, I've been there before where I've stopped calling a woman baby. You know, it's because somebody else has got your attention. Yeah. He may not be fully cheating, but he may be giving his attention to somebody else. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Everybody has patterns, and when somebody changes their pattern, there's a reason why. Now, whether it's because he's consumed for some reason, all of a sudden consumed, somebody else has got his attention, he's having an affair, something has changed his pattern, and
how is he consumed by that all day, every day? He's like, oh, my wife sent naked picture of herself to a group. And that's just all day causing him to change his behavior. And she even said he slipped up and called me honey and baby. And then he cuddled with me in his sleep. Like he's trying to put on this facade.
Hurt her.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to put on this facade to maybe keep her in her place or something. It's like, dude, this is why I wish we could get him on the phone and her on the phone and just have them talk. That way we could be like, hey, listen, you guys need to talk about this. You need to talk about it now, because if you are acting like this, trying to suppress her, Kayla's going to end up leaving him someday.
Yeah.
It's what's going to happen, because she wants a good marriage and she wants it with him. And if she doesn't get it, and when she realizes that he's not going to give it to her anymore, she going to bounce.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but she's going to.
I mean, in an ideal world, what I want is that he is not having an affair. He is not having an emotional affair, that he would start to communicate with her and give valid reasons, and that she would be able to bring him around to back to what it was, what she said it was, and they could live happily ever after. I mean, that's what I want for her, for both of them.
Can I just say this too, Kayla? You realize what you did was wrong, and as long as you realize that you can't do it again, you've got to stop beating yourself up.
Yes,
stop
for sure.
being embarrassed by it. You did it. Move on. Don't let anybody beat you up. You made a mistake. You're human. Everybody makes mistakes. You're no different than everybody else. Don't let anybody continue to beat you up for it.
Agreed.
You said, I'm sorry. Move on from it. And do not allow anybody to not allow you to move on from it either.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So I hope it gets better. Email us back. And Kayla, like I said, I emailed you back and forth. If you want to talk to us on the phone, and if you could get him on the phone with us, we would be more than happy to talk to both of you. If you don't feel comfortable with that, that's fine. But if you do, we'd be more than happy to talk to him, right?
Sure. Yeah.
That'd be wonderful. I mean, I think we could help in that situation, but it'd be up to you. So, all right, that's all the emails I had for you. So,
Was that 4? I thought we had 4.
Yeah, that was 4.
Well, damn.
Yep, we had Chris, we had Caden, and then we had Kelly, which we're going to talk to her on the phone later, and then we had Kayla. So,
right.
Yep, that's it. So we got a caller, Josh. Josh is having issues. His girlfriend cheated on him, and he's trying to move past it, and he wants to know what to do. So got him on the phone today. You ready to talk to him?
Let's talk to Josh.
All right, here we are, Josh.
Hey, Josh, I want to let you know I have a kind of a guest host in today, too. Her name is Linda.
Okay.
You're pretty much going to hear, from me immediately after I get all the story from you. But Linda is going to give some input, too, from a female perspective.
Okay.
All right. So tell me, I kind of have an idea because you sent me a message, and I want, for the listeners' benefit, I want you to kind of give me a description of what the history is here, what you got going on, and then I'm going to give you the best guidance that I can.
Okay. So, me and my girlfriend have been dating for quite a while, but she had cheated on me back in October, but I was really in love with her, so she apologized for it, and I forgave her. And then recently this year, I think it was back at the beginning of February, she said she needed to straighten her life out, and she broke up with me then it was like a day and a half, 2 days. She called me and wanted to get back together. Well, recently I had found out that she had talked to that guy she had cheated on me with while we were broken up for those 2 days. And then a few days ago was our two-year anniversary, I guess. And I told her I needed a break to think, like, if I really need this or not. And then I'm just wondering what you guys' thoughts are on the situation, because I really don't know which way to turn at this point.
How old are you guys?
I'm 20 and she's 19.
I'm dating for 2 years. Y'all don't live together?
No, sir.
Okay. When she cheated on you back in October, Was it like a one night stand? Did she have a short term affair?
Like a one night stand. Yeah.
And when y'all had the 2-day break, you feel like she only talked to this guy, like on the phone? Did she meet up with him? Do you?
No. She had messaged him, I guess, and they talked over Instagram. But to my knowledge, they didn't meet up or anything.
Okay. What does she? Does she work? Does she go to school? What's going on in her life?
Working and going to school.
What's she going to school for?
She's general studies.
Are you going to school or are you just working?
Yes, sir. I'm going to school.
Yeah. Okay. Did she keep it a secret until recently that she had talked to that guy? How did you find out that she talked to that guy over your 2-day break?
She had told me a couple weeks ago that she had done it, and I got pretty upset about it, but then I guess I just forgave her again.
What prompted her to tell you?
I guess I'm not sure.
Just out of the blue? She
Yes, sir.
Like conscious got to her and she wanted you to know?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. How are you handling the idea? I mean, back in October when she had the one night stand, I know you say you forgave her. How are you handling that really? I mean, like, is it a daily thought, a weekly thought? How often is that entering your mind that took place?
Sometimes I get really, really upset about it, and then sometimes it just kind of gets pushed to the back of my mind. Because I have a pretty busy life, so sometimes I just forget about things. But then when I do think about it, it upsets me.
Yeah.
A lot, because I'm not sure if she's like really sorry for it or not.
Yeah. But would you say that enters your mind on a daily basis and you push it away, or is it just something that occasionally, comes into your mind?
Definitely a couple times a week at least.
Yeah. Do you feel like you can trust her right now, knowing the two things that you know about that she's told you? Do you feel like you can trust her?
I can't say yes, and I guess I can't really say no either.
Other than those two things that you know about, have there been any other indiscretions of any kind, even if it was just talking to any other guys? Does she flirt with other guys that you know of?
I don't know if I'd necessarily say flirt, but some conversations she's had with other guys kind of make me comfortable. But
and what kind of future would you see with her? Let's say that these indiscretions did not happen. Everything was, going along just fine. What kind of future have y'all discussed? I mean, has marriage been discussed? Has kids been discussed? Where y'all want to live? Any of that kind of stuff?
Like I know we're young and stuff, but marriage has definitely been discussed, because I do think she's like the right one, but just things that have happened just haven't showed me that that's really it. But kids and stuff haven't been discussed, I guess. Where we live hasn't either, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's where I'm at on it. I understand when you are in love with someone, and something like her having the one night stand, can be crushing to you. But you're in love with her and you want to get past that and trust her again. I totally get that. And, some people, they can get past it and some people cannot. You are clearly not past it. I think that if you want to attempt to stay in this relationship with her, that's something that you're really going to have to work toward, accepting the fact that it happened and dealing with the fact that it happened and moving past it so that it is not entering your mind a couple of times a week, because something like that entering your mind a couple of times a week is not healthy. You have to deal with it that happened. And going, if you decide that my job is not to tell you to stay with her or to leave her. I can only give you the guidance for if you're going to stay with her. You really need to sit down with her and set some boundaries with her. And you need to think that through quite a bit before you do sit down with her. What those boundaries are, who she can associate with, if she's going to, what she needs to be revealing to you if she talks to particular people or is around particular people. Is that something that, she has to let you know that this has happened, or I've talked to this person, I've been around this person, there can't be any secrets. Whatever your boundaries are to make you feel more secure in their relationship, given the fact that she's done a few things to make you feel insecure about the foundation. You have to set those boundaries and make her abide by them. And if she can't or doesn't, then at that point you have to, if you set boundaries for somebody and they will not stay within those boundaries, at that point you have to cut them off. You have to cut them out. In my opinion, that's how I feel about it. Because if you don't, they will continue to push the boundaries until it's out of control again. For me, somebody cheats on me, I'm done. I'm not, it shows such a total lack of respect for me if they cheat on me that I'm not going to stay in it. But again, everybody is different. And if you can work past it and you can get to a point with her that you feel like you can trust her, I'm not saying it's not possible that you guys can have some kind of future together. But when I ask about your future, what y'all have discussed, I mean, if you feel like she is supportive of you in your endeavors, if she's supportive of you, how you are feeling mentally and emotionally, if she has a good head on her shoulders as far as a career, if y'all can agree on, you both want to have 2.5 kids or, whatever, what kind of, occupation is she going to have? Where do y'all going to live? If y'all are agreeing on all of that stuff and she's made a couple of mistakes, and you can work past it, there's still hope that there's a future with boundaries, and she can help you get back to a point of being able to trust. And with that said, I want to get Linda's input from a female's perspective on if you agree with what I'm saying or disagree with any part of it, or what direction you feel like based on his description.
Well, I do like what you told him, and I think for myself as well, I'm out on the cheating. But I don't want to say it like this, but from a woman's point of view, I don't think you're the one for her. When you're truly in love with someone, you know it, you feel it. Looking at another person is just out of the question. It's just like breathing air. You're just not going to do it. If she's already done that once and then took a break from you, which I find odd, to get herself right, but it was only one day, that's not enough. If I'm cheating, I would think I would need more time to understand why I did it. Maybe my partner isn't the one for me and I shouldn't have done it, but I'm going to need more than a day and a half to come back to you. It's not something I'm going to figure out right away. So, and bless your heart though, for even talking to Jason today about that, because that's tough stuff. But I don't think that she's looking at you like you're her future, because she's already talking to the guy or texting after the fact.
Yeah, Josh, let me ask you a question. Are you still there, by the way?
Yes, sir.
He's been quiet. So I was just, Josh, let me ask you a question. Like, whenever you found out that she was cheating on you, she told you, did it seem like it came from a place of remorse, or was she doing it as like a spiteful thing to kind of stab you?
I think it was more remorse. She sounded upset, but because it happened, I'm not sure. Like, sometimes it just doesn't feel like she's actually sorry for what happened.
Yeah, and you want like every time you think about it and you're hurt, you want her to be just as hurt as you are. You know, to be like, I want to see that you're hurting from this, so I can feel more comfortable in this scenario. You know, I've been cheated on so many times, dude. I'm telling you, like, I know exactly how it feels when I'm like, hey, why aren't you still sad about this? Because I'm really sad about this. You should be just as sad as me about this. But it's a betrayal, man. In my opinion, you never go back to the same level of trust as you were before, ever.
I do want to add too that when Linda was talking, it did, I did feel like the 1.5 to 2 day break, and then knowing that she talked to the guy that she slept with, it does kind of make me feel like it possibly she took a break. She wanted to talk to the guy, kind of feel that out, see, maybe that she was going to go a different direction. Mm-hmm. Something was said she didn't like, or maybe the guy said, nah, I'm out. I'm not interested, whatever. And something may have happened in that 2 days that she's like, okay, well, I thought I was going to jump ship, but I'm not, because this didn't work out the way I thought it was going to. So I'm just going to go back to Josh. Not saying that's what happened. Kind of gives me that feeling though, that with such a short break, and that's another thing, I'm out on breaks. I don't do breaks at all.
I don't either.
And I know that you have now told her that you want a break so that you can think this through. And I do agree with Linda that when you are in love with someone, you have eyes for no one else. That's your person. That's the only person that you want to be with. And so she may be right. She may not be the one for you. I just always have a hard time telling somebody to get out, because although it's a huge mistake for somebody to sleep with somebody else when they're in a relationship. It's still a mistake. And sometimes there are times that everything is perfect for a couple. Somebody makes an error, a major error, and that's it. They did it. They did it. There's nothing they can do about it now. And maybe they can live another 50 years and never happen again. So I always has now, if somebody's been, if she cheated on you 3 times, twice, if she cheated on you twice, if she slept with 2 different guys or slept with the same guy twice, then I'd say, no, it's going to keep happening,
Yeah, but let's say she only had sex with someone one time. She continued to talk to someone, whether it's that same guy or another guy. That shows a lack of respect, like you said, and it shows zero to little interest in what Josh has to offer. And we have to remember he's got feelings on this for her.
Right.
But, I agree with you. You don't want to say get out, but we're old enough and we've had enough relationships to say, you got to go, red flag.
Yeah.
Let me ask you both a question right now, and I'm asking this so Josh can hear it. I'll ask you first, can you name one couple where the person had cheated on you and they lived blissfully? Can you name one?
You mean a couple that cheated on each other?
Or that one person cheated and then they lived blissfully, happily ever after. Can you name one relationship?
I don't, but and
Jason, can you?
I do. I know a couple. I know a couple of couples that there was infidelity. It was dealt with and are still together.
I mean,
years later.
Happy.
I mean, they're still together, but are they have a genuine happy relationship?
Happily. In fact, I know of a couple. Well, her husband just recently passed, but they were married 40 plus years. The infidelity happened real early on, and it was dealt with. And I believe that they were genuinely happy couple.
Yeah. My thing is, if you're young, but life does start to go by pretty quick whenever you start getting a little older. And if you think this isn't going to work, or if you just think you can't get over it, even if you think that she might be decent for you, if you don't think you can get over it, you're going to be putting yourself through years of torment. You're putting yourself through that. You're tormenting yourself by putting yourself in that situation. Whenever you could hurt for the next, let's say you hurt for 6 months if you break up with her, but you could be hurting for 5 years if you stay with her. You've got to look at it like that. You're going to hurt both ways. You're going to hurt both ways. But you got to think, if you broke up with her, you're going to hurt for 6 months or even a year. But if you stay with her, you could be hurting for 5 years, for 10 years, however long you guys decide to stay together. Whenever you've got to value yourself at the end of the day, you've got to show value in yourself. Yes. And if you're patient, because love is very patient, if you're patient, you can find the one person that would rather gouge their eyes out than cheat on you.
And don't become jaded. And that's a big problem. Someone's so broken because someone cheated or did it numerous times. You go on to the next person and you think you're ready, but then you're watching every move she makes,
right?
Waiting for her to screw up. And maybe she's the one for you, but you're not open up enough to you don't want to get hurt again, to her, like the last one. And because you're young, why not?
Yeah.
Look, as far as whether you stay with this girl or not, I really believe that you have to answer those questions. You have to do the pros and the cons. What are the pros of staying in this, and what are the cons? Obviously, one of the cons is dealing with the fact that she cheated on you, and how long is it going to take you to deal with that? How long do you want to continue that hurt? But there's got to be other cons, and then whatever all the pros are, weigh that out, and then, like I said, you got to figure out what your boundaries are for her, and you got to set those boundaries and find out if she's willing, to deal with those boundaries. You may set the boundaries, and she says, "I'm out. I'm not going to live that way."
Yep, but you've got to hold some value in yourself and understand that you can set boundaries. It's okay to have rules and boundaries that you're not comfortable with. And if you're not comfortable with them and then she still does them, you have the right to just get out, man. Because I promise you, there's someone out there.
It's not just okay to have boundaries. It's necessary to have boundaries.
Yeah.
Every person should have boundaries. And it's just what level of boundaries you have, for your relationship. Which in yours would be fairly strict for quite a while, I would imagine, given the history.
Yep. Josh, do you have anything else to add, or as you've been hearing us talk, do you have any other questions or any thoughts on what we've said?
I guess it just feels like I've kind of been walked over for the last year and haven't been really respected a whole lot. And I guess my feelings really haven't been taken into account by her.
Well, if you feel like that's the case for the last year, I mean, if that's been your year, again, it's not my job to tell you to get out or not, but I think you're answering your own question. I think you are answering I think if you feel like you've been walked over and your feelings have not been taken into account for the last year on top of the two indiscretions, I think you've answered your own question. Don't you?
Okay. Yes, sir.
I mean,
as much as you love her, as much as you care about her, I know that hurts. It hurts to let go of something that you've been doing for 2 years. I get it, but you are young and you have a long life ahead of you, and you can love somebody else as much as you love her in time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking, man, is that it's going to hurt either way, dude. You're going to hurt whether you're with her, you're going to hurt whether you're without her. It's just one's going to be longer than the other. And when I was your age, I got married, right? And the girl I was with cheated on me, and then she kept cheating on me, and then she kept cheating on me. And then I got beat down, and I felt like less of a man. I just felt like I was a wuss, and I got ran all over, and then I just allowed it. And then for 6 years, I was this big wuss. I didn't feel like a man. I didn't feel like I was worth anything. My self-worth went lower than what the floor is. And I allowed that to happen. You see what I'm saying? And then I got out of it, and I had to teach myself how to be independent, strong, and not weak anymore because I allowed that to beat me down for so long. Don't do what I did and wait till your late 20s to realize that you don't have to do that. You don't answer to anybody but yourself, man. You don't answer. Your life is not in her hands. Yours is. You've just got to take control of it. You've got to take control of it and realize that you don't owe her anything, man. You don't owe her anything. You owe yourself something, especially now that she showed you that she's not going to respect you. You don't owe her anything, man. You don't. And you got to tell yourself that. And it's going to hurt. I want you to remember that the most. It's going to hurt either way. And it's just one's going to hurt for longer.
The kicker for me is for to hear him say, for the last year, I have felt like she has not respected me. I've been walked over. She hasn't respected my feelings. To me, the year of that is greater than the one night infidelity, which was horrible. It's bad. But a year of if you believe that for a year she has not taken your feelings into consideration and you've been walked over, yeah, that kind of did it for me.
Yeah, and if you don't feel warm fuzzies about her, like about whether she really regrets it or not, she probably doesn't. If you don't feel warm fuzzies, like subconsciously, our subconscious is 10 times smarter than what we are. Yeah. Your subconscious will tell you what the truth is.
Yeah.
And your actions that stem from your subconscious is a result of that. And it's telling you the truth because our subconscious is way smarter than we are. You just got to listen to it. That's all you have to do. And it's simple, but it's also difficult. But picking the partner you're going to spend the rest of your life, me and Jason both said this, picking the partner you're going to spend the rest of your life with is the most important decision you will ever make in your entire life. And you're going to have to treat it like it is.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I'll say it, I don't think this girl is the one.
Yeah, I agree. Josh, for the first year of your relationship, how was she? Was she all over you? Was she just kind of there?
It was all over. It was good, I guess, but then it just kind of changed all at once, it seemed like.
And was it the way she was acting towards you in front of people, or was this behind closed doors?
Yeah, kind of both, I would say.
Don't you think you deserve someone who respects you as much as you respect them?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, I don't know her, but she wouldn't do this to you if you were the one. And man, it hurts because I just went through a breakup, so I get it. 3.5 years, and it's not good for you. You have to let it go. And it's hard, but you're so young. I'm just saying, you're so young. There's so much more out there. You're going to find the person who's mature enough to handle, temptation. If you're the right one, it's not going to be an issue. You could be walking through a club with, gorgeous men right and left, and she's going to sit there and stare at you. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Is this your first breakup? Like, I'm not insinuating that you're breaking up, but if you do end up breaking up with her, will this be your first big breakup in your life?
No, sir.
So you've kind of like already done it before. Like the first time you broke up, were you like madly in love with her, and did it hurt real bad when you broke up?
Yeah.
The first one's always the worst. I remember when over time I got better at it. I got better at dealing with it, and then I got better of learning how to get over it quicker,
Well, with age too.
Yeah.
The older you get, emotions really run high when you're younger, and especially when you're like in middle school and high school. But even when you're like in your early 20s, your emotions run a lot higher, and you feel like it's the end of the world or the world's crashing down on you when things like this happen. And as you get more into your 20s and 30s, you are able to cope with it better. So I know that right now he's not wanting to let go because it's 2 years. 2 years he's been doing this same thing, and it's like, I don't really want to start over. But Josh, at your age, well, at any age, I don't care what age you are, if it's unhealthy, if it's toxic, if it's not the right fit, then you will find, I mean, if you're patient and you look for the attributes, in the beginning of whoever you date next, you'll find the one that has all the attributes that you're looking for. And one of them, obviously needing to be very important, is some support, that they support you in what you're doing in life, and that they look at you. They look at you and they don't notice the other people in the room because they're focused on you.
A man having the right woman by his side is one of the most powerful things that can ever happen. When I met my wife that I have now, in the beginning, I took a lot of credit about man, I'm making all these changes and I don't know what changed, but man, I'm really kind of moving up in life right now, and I'm like doing this, and I thought about it. And because my wife's so passive and she's so quiet, and she doesn't make a lot of noise, but I'm probably fixing to cry telling you this because it's a wonderful feeling, man. But I sat down and I actually thought about it. I was like, it's all her, man. The reason why I am the way I am is because of her. And she was this vessel for me to become the man that I am. And I'm getting better, and I could not do it without her. If she left, that link would break, and I wouldn't be shit, to put it bluntly. I wouldn't be shit without her. And she's so powerful. Even though she's so quiet, she's so meek, she's so powerful.
Because she's supportive of you and your endeavors.
She's everything. She's
they want
everything.
you to get better.
But Josh is not having that with this woman. No. He's not having that support.
If you feel weak, beat down, and uncomfortable, and you feel like less of a man, she's not the right one, man. Yeah. I'll just tell you that. I've been there, and that's the shittiest feeling ever. And you're going to wake up one day, and you're going to be 30, and you're going to wish you haven't wasted all this time. I know it's easier said than done, but do not make the same mistake I did. Don't do it.
There's no sense of security with her.
My biggest uncomfortable feeling that I have with my wife right now is that I didn't meet her sooner, and then I couldn't have experienced this for longer. Because she's 42, she's 6 years older than me. And I'm like, God, I was like, I just wish I could have experienced this for longer, but maybe I will. I don't know. She'll probably outlive me. But the only regret I have with her is that I would have been a little more patient and experienced this in my 20s. Because it's wonderful, man. It's wonderful.
Moral to that story is, you probably should just keep looking for the right one, the one that is going to be supportive of you.
It takes a lot of patience.
In your relationship.
Yeah. Josh, we want to hear back from you. This episode's going to go out in 3 weeks from now. 3 Wednesdays from this Wednesday. So 1, 2, 3. And so we don't want you to think that it's not going out, but it is. It's going to go out in 3 weeks. And we want an update. Do you know our email address, don't you, for the show?
No, sir, I do not.
It is the Straight Shooter Show.
It'd be easier if he just goes to my link tree. At the very bottom of my link, in my TikTok bio, the link tree, at the very bottom, there's an envelope. You can just click on that envelope and you can send an email.
Yeah. Send us an update. We can get you back on the phone, or if you just want to type out the update in the email. We really want to know. We love to hear back from you guys, and especially when you put into action what we say, or if the other thing happens and she flips around and it ends up being good. But I just hope to see you make some moves, man. I just don't want you to miss out on being the man that you could be.
And Josh, I want to extend this to you too over the next, 2 or 3 weeks. If you need, if you're going through it, whatever you decide to do, if you're going through it over the next 2 or 3 weeks, you need to reach out, send me a message, whether it's an email or a DM on TikTok. If you need, like, something comes up, you need a question answered or whatever, reach out to me and I'll respond to you fairly quick, and I'll help guide you through whatever decision you make over the next, month or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any closing statements or questions or anything?
I just want to thank you guys for your advice today. It kind of makes my decision a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. I appreciate you coming on. I mean, we like to try to help people that we can and try to give them, our experiences, things that we've dealt with and things we've been through. But also because we need content. You coming on and talking to us about your situation gives the listener something to listen to. It gives the listener something to think about. Maybe somebody else is going through a similar situation, or they're about to go through a similar situation, and they'll remember back to this podcast and they'll say, yeah, well, I've already heard about this. I know what to do.
Yep. You probably help more people than you realize.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're rooting for you, though.
Yeah, whatever you decide, we're on your Team Josh.
Team Josh, baby. Hashtag Team Josh.
All right,
Thank
man.
you,
You bet. Have a good day. I'll look forward to hearing from you soon.
All righty. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye, Josh.
Bye.
That makes me sick to my stomach because I really do like, when as time goes by and you remember mindsets that you're in and stuff
Right.
like that, by listening to a story, it puts me right back into that feeling.
Right.
Because I didn't feel like a man. I don't even know how to describe it,
You
man.
feel sick to your stomach.
Yeah, I didn't even feel like a man. Like, I'm ashamed of the man I was in my 20s. Like, I'd beat his ass if he was in front of me right now. I'd be like, what are you doing? I was like how I called my dad a pussy. Like, I was a pussy.
Yeah.
100%, man. 100% I was. And, I mean, I'm willing to admit that, and I look back at that, and that guy makes me look like I'm gross. And like I said, I used to take credit for the man I am today, but
I think of this Facebook meme that I had shared like 7 or 8 years ago that said, you ever want to go back in time and just punch yourself in the face?
yeah, I sure do.
Me too.
I'd beat the shit out of my 20-year-old self. I don't know about you, but I would, but
Yeah.
and it hurts for him because I know his life's fixing to get hard, and I feel for him, and I'm going to be thinking about him a lot, because it's going to hurt for a little bit, but
It's hard to guide someone that young, though.
Yeah.
They're going to go one of two ways. They're okay, well, thanks, but I love her, so I'm just going to tough it out.
Check it out, though. We don't always hear back from everybody, but 99% of people that we talk to do exactly what we
suggest.
Yeah. They
He's
do
so-
exactly, and it always works out, man. I don't know if just talking to somebody that people respect and they know that they usually do it. But you are right. You are right. It's very possible that, the only reason why he's staying with her, he's convincing himself to stay with her so he doesn't have to feel the pain. But what he doesn't realize is he's feeling it now.
Right.
Yep.
Because he knows the reason why he's feeling that pain now is because he's lost her, but he's trying to hang on to a little bit because he's not hurting as bad. Maybe sometimes he has brief moments of relief, right, with her.
Well, and 2 years, it's like a habit, she's like a habit to him. He's been seeing her for 2 years, and it's like do anything for 2 years and then stop doing it. It's like breaking that habit. So it's tough. It's tough to break a habit.
Yeah. And love is so subtle, man. Like true love is so subtle. Like if you feel this powerful, nasty, toxic, gross feeling where you're always feeling pulled towards them and stuff like that. That's how people think that's love. And I always thought that was love too, but it was the wrong feeling. True love is so subtle and powerful at the same time. I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's not this hardcore tugging feeling on your heart. Like that feeling is not right. Like it's this
Lust.
It's this thing that grows and it's a powerful bond. I remember the first thing where I realized my wife was the one is whenever she was hanging, she had to move into my house for a reason. She had to move in. Let's just say she had to move in. I wasn't necessarily ready for that, but I was like, you know what? She needs a place. I'm going to let her move in. This was when we were dating. And then I realized after a couple months, I was like, because every other girl I've been dated with, I'd have brief moments where I was like, I just wish I had some alone time, And I remember with her after a couple months, I was like, not one time
I like this.
have I ever wished that she wasn't here or I had alone time. I was like, that's kind of weird. I've never had that happen. Like not one time. And still to this day, whatever, 5 years later, there has not been one moment of anything that I've done that I didn't wish she was there.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
It's so sappy, but it's just true. I'm just being honest, man.
I want to touch on this too, because it's been a big topic for me in the last week or so, like on TikTok and in messages from people that are, and basically since I've been on TikTok, it's always been an issue. People are always asking me, they're like, man, I'm always worried about what my girl's doing. I stress out, I overthink. And I'm always telling people that, it's mind over matter. Is you worrying about something going to change the outcome? All that stuff. But one thing that I don't really touch on very often, because normally when these guys are telling me this, it's not that their girlfriend has done anything. They are just insecure,
Yes.
But in a situation like this, and I'm saying this for other people to hear too, in a situation where your spouse or your significant other has given you reason to worry, it's not that easy I know it's not that easy to say mind over matter. Don't think about it because it's not going to change the outcome. Bullshit. If they've already proven to you that you can't trust them, then it's almost impossible to not be consumed with it, at least for a period of time. It takes a long time to work through. If you're going to stay with somebody after they've been unfaithful, it takes a long ass time to work through that. And you're going to think about it consistently on a regular basis. It's going to cross your mind. You're always going to wonder, what are they doing?
Yeah. When I notice people are the most insecure when the other person is not doing anything to make that person insecure. Mm-hmm. And almost every case, it's because that person went through a breakup and then they got into a relationship too soon afterwards. Like, you're carrying over that baggage and that emotion because, like I said, you need to reset because you have this emotion, this feeling that is set in stone while you're with this person. And then if you jump right into another one, that emotion and that feeling carries on into the next one.
That is one. And also if they have been in previous relationships where they've been, cheated on, then they're getting a new relationship. The person's giving them no reason to wonder or worry, but they're still having they haven't dealt with what they felt when they got cheated on from the previous relationship. So they carry that into the new relationship. The new partner pays for what, the old partner did.
Yeah.
What about they're just a cheater and that's what they've done? And it's just
hoes will be hoes, man. I think
that
projecting
that
onto
too.
you
Absolutely.
their wrongdoings.
I think there's hoes out there, right? You call them hoes, right? There's hoes, Linda.
What?
There's hoes out there. There's people that generally in their DNA they cannot be faithful.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But do not get in a in a relationship with someone that's monogamous. And then if you meet that person, if you realize that hoes going to be hoes, then you probably shouldn't get in a monogamous relationship. The problem with people in relationships is society tells you need to be a certain way. And then so you try to be what society tells you need to be instead of being yourself. You're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. And then everybody's unhappy because you're not doing what you should be doing in the first place.
Yeah.
Which is just, if you're a hoe, be a hoe. You see what I'm saying? Or get in a relationship with a guy that wants to be a hoe too, and you guys can just have an open relationship.
Have a hoe down?
Yeah, just have a hoe down. So
I don't suggest open relationships either. I know some people that are in them that swear by it, and they're like, it's great.
I have a couple, and they're still together, and it's been over 2 decades.
I don't care.
I'm kind of with you too. Like I cannot fathom how somebody could be actually happy and comfortable in a polygamous relationship.
I'm not saying there aren't couples that aren't capable. I'm saying the overwhelming majority that think they can do that, it spells disaster. It's, there's a population of people. There is a population of people that can live that way. Okay, it's a small population.
Could you see that? I've even seen it on TikTok where there's polygamists out there, and it seems like they're genuinely comfortable. But I'm like, are they though? Like, I want to actually go in there and live with them for 30 days and see if they're really comfortable. Are you really comfortable, or what's going on? Because I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I've seen Big Love. That was a great show, and it touched on that. But I think maybe not. Maybe it's just all for show, but maybe it's more like a big family than we know about, The sister wives all
Maybe
love
so.
each other, and they take care of each other's children. And
I'll open up about something. I really probably shouldn't be telling this. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but me and my wife had a threesome whenever we first got together with another woman. And the next day she said, hey, I didn't like that. Didn't really make me feel comfortable. I don't want that to happen again. I said, you got it. And we never talked about it again. And it's never affected our relationship one time. Didn't make her insecure. Didn't make me insecure. We decided we tried it. It's kind of a spur of the moment type thing. And it happened and it didn't affect our relationship. And now that I look back on that, that's kind of weird that it's never affected that.
You're lucky. You're lucky that it didn't.
Yeah.
A lot of people, it would drive.
It really never did.
It would drive the person that didn't like it. It would drive them crazy. Or there's couples that will do that for a year or two.
The only thing I remember is I said, hey, why didn't you like it? She said, well, you spent more time on her than you spent on me. And I said, well, you also spent more time on her than she spent on me. And then she goes, you're right. I just don't want to do it again. I said,
fair.
I said, fair enough. I'll never. And so, but see, in order for us to be comfortable, if I would come and act, because she told me set in stone, I don't want to do this again. Mm-hmm. If I would have come back in 6 months from then and said, hey, let's try this again, that would have been so disrespectful to me. Yeah. And then she'd have a reason to be insecure. But
right.
I don't want to do it either. Like, it's just kind of messy at that point. You're kind of just adding, like, I'm okay with just my wife. So
yeah, I mean, if you want to try spicing up your life and this is maybe the path you wanted to choose, that's okay.
Anal.
As long as you're both.
Just do anal if you want to spice it up, right?
Jesus.
What's your thoughts on anal, Jason?
I gotta go home.
I'm not into that.
No?
No.
Okay.
It hurts.
Well, every episode, just like that lady said, I've got to add a little spice to the podcast. So
when it comes to that open, that having more than two people in the bedroom, I always say, first of all, I don't think it's a good idea at all. But if you're gonna, nobody in the room can have feelings for anybody in the room. It has to be purely physical, because if one person has feelings for one of the other people, it's going to end up spelling disaster. Yeah. More often than not.
Or even if you keep doing it with the same person over and over again, it would be silly and naive for you to think that some sort of
emotions are going to get involved.
Yep, they're going to start doing it behind their back and everything else. Like, it's just messy.
So again, I always, especially young couples that talk to me and they're like, my girl or my guy or whatever is thinking they want to do this. What do you think? And I'm like, no, don't start down that. Don't start down that road. Just stay away from that altogether.
I would actually agree with that.
Why take a chance on it? And really, when one person brings it up to the other one, I'm like, well, you need to evaluate why they're bringing that up. I mean, is it just because they want to try something wild, something new, or are they,
not satisfied?
Yeah.
Mine was so weird. Like, it was when we were dating. We weren't married yet. Like, we were just sitting there, and I texted my wife. The girl was there, and I texted my wife, and I said, I want to have a threesome with her. And then she opened the message. She looked over at me and smiled. And she looked at that girl and said, Zach says he wants to have a threesome. And then off it went right then. And I was like, well, it just all happened so fast. You know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, And I look back at it now, and it's just weird that we haven't had literally any negative side effects from that.
Page though with your relationship, so
yeah,
and
I would be tempting fate if we did it again. That'd be for sure. And my relationship is 10 times more important to me than anything side that I could have. So
thinking back to the caller, I don't even know how we got off on this topic.
Yeah.
But at any rate,
Josh, go have a threesome.
Shut up.
What?
I just said that I always say stay away from that.
Oh, okay.
Don't contradict me.
Well, it's just man, he never listens to my advice. He says never do the stuff I do. But
he doesn't even do anal.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So you did try anal and it hurt one time, you said?
How did it hurt you?
That was a joke. But no, I'm not into that because...
I'm not into that.
Why?
Yeah. All right, so...
I know my parents listen to this, but I'm just going to say this. This is what when guys ask me, why aren't you into anal? I'm like, there's a perfectly good vagina right there. Why would I want it? No, that's disgusting.
You can for sure tell that it wasn't made for that. And I'm with you. I actually 100% agree with you as well.
Well, you shouldn't double dip, but, Try it out one time. You
No.
never know.
I mean, I've tried it. That's why I don't like it. But
I'm not okay. Let's get out of this
yeah,
show.
you want to get
New
Jason's
topic.
getting squirmy. So yeah, Josh, and my final thoughts on it would be is do not hop into a relationship. Find yourself and realize that you're a great person without her. And then when you feel completely comfortable with moving on, then move on. But thank you for the call, and please email us and let us know how you're doing, and maybe we'll get you on the phone again to get an update. So Jason, take us out.
Y'all may not always agree with everything that I have to say, but one thing's for sure, I'm always going to shoot you straight.
You have been listening to The Straight Shooter Show. Come back every Wednesday for new episodes.